So first we're gonna discuss is about the learning episode 13, which is the assessment of learning or the summative assessment. So here are the learning outcomes. So first is aligning assessment task with learning outcomes. So the target intended learning outcomes. First is determine alignment of assessment task with learning outcomes. Second is formulate assessment task aligned with the learning outcome. So first activity is observe at least classes or any subjects, physical, biological, science, or math or English. And then you will provide the learning outcome, assessment task, and if the assessment task or tools is aligned to the learning outcomes. So the subject is the mathematics and the learning outcomes is students identify numbers, and the assessment task is comparing numbers, and the assessment is aligned to the learning outcomes. So here are my analyze. So are all the assessment tasks aligned to the learning outcome? Yes, the assessment tasks align to the learning outcome. Number 2, what are the possible consequences of the teacher assessment tasks are not aligned to the learning outcome? Does this affect assessment results? Yes, it can undermine both student motivation and learning. Why should assessment tasks be aligned to the learning outcomes? To attain the objectives of the lesson, and it will achieve the intended learning outcome. So here is my reflection. As I reflect on the past assessment that I experienced, that all assessment that given must be aligned in the learning outcome for to attain the objective of the lesson. So we have the lean theory to practice. First question is, here is a learning outcome. Describe a person by the use of metaphor. So here is the item. Describe a classmate or teacher by way of a metaphor. So the answer is letter C, yes, because the item aligned to the learning outcome. Second is learning outcome. Conduct an investigation to prove that plants can manufacture their own food. So the test item, can plants manufacture their own food? So the item is not aligned to the learning. And the answer is A, no. So third is the learning outcome. Demonstrate the inductive method of teaching. Test outline steps of inductive method of teaching. So is the item aligned to the learning outcome? The answer is A, no. Which assessment task is aligned to the learning outcome? Compute the mean if the score is 50, 50, 50, 48, 47, 45, 44, 43, 43, 42, 41, 40. So the answer is letter C. So the fourth is the learning outcome to observe subject-verb agreement as one speaks. So the test is give the correct form of verb. The A is dogs, the B ate cat, meow, and the C birds fly. So the answer is letter A, no. Number 6 is, here is the lesson objective intended learning outcome. Illustrate the law of supply and demand with your original concrete example. For content validity, which item, this item is aligned. So the answer is A. Define the law of supply and demand and illustrate it with an example. So number 7, teacher B wrote this learning outcome. To interpret a given quotation for content validity, which should she ask? So the answer is letter A. Interpret then Nietzsche's statement, which is a he who has why to live for can appear with almost anyhow. So we have the observing the use of traditional assessment tools. So the intended learning outcome is to critique traditional assessment tools and tasks for learning in the context of established guidelines on test construction. So we have the type of traditional assessment tool or paper and pencil test. So we have the selected response type, we have the alternate response, matching type, and multiple choice. So we have the analyze, which is assessment tool tasks were most commonly used by teacher, which ones were rarely used, why were they rarely used? Since the teacher did not specify what kind of assessment they are using, I think the commonly used by teacher is a multiple choice because it's more reliable in testing the knowledge, and it is also the time efficient that students can answer it in a short or period of time. So second is based on your answers, found the tables above in which type of assessment tools and tasks were the resource teacher most skilled instruction and least skilled. So this my answer is not observed. Number 3, can an essay or other written requirements, even if it is written paper and a pencil test, be considered an authentic form of assessment? Explain your answer. And the answer is yes. It can be considered as authentic assessment because even it is a written assessment, it also uses creative learning experiences to test students' skills and knowledge in realistic situations. So we proceed to the reflect. My reflection, I'm not yet good enough to construct traditional assessment tools, but in my own experience, it's easy to construct the selected response type, and the difficult for me to construct is the most in constructed response type, like for example, the problem solving. And through this, I'm still learning the proper construction to have an effective assessment. So we proceed to the lean theory to practice. So number 1, which assessment task is aligned to the learning outcome given above? So the answer is letter C. Here are the 5 test items. Evaluate them on the basis of established guidelines in the test construction. Number 2, what's wrong with this of true or false test item? So Filipinos are sociable but lazy. So the answer is A, opinionated. Number 3 is the test item is in accordance with the rules on the test construction. So the answer is letter A, no. Number 4, in a matching type of a test, which will be found in the first column. So the answer is B, the princess. In a multiple choice type of test, one option among 4 was not chosen by any examinee. What is true of that opinion? The answer is letter A, the implausible. The students were at a loss as to answer to give an incompletion type of test since there were so many blanks. Which true of this test item? So the answer is letter C, over mutilated. So now we proceed to the use of non-traditional assessment tools and scoring rubrics. So here are the authentic assessment or non-traditional alternative. We have the product and the performance. So here are the analyzed. Based on my interview, the teacher said that she used holistic rubrics, which is evaluates the overall performance in a qualitative manner. So number 2, the scoring rubrics made and used by the research teacher is for use to assess performance where the lesson is appropriate for the learners. Number 3, yes, because without rubrics, the students will be confused and not guided what goals are they trying to achieve. Number 4, for me, there is no need to improve on scoring rubrics because the teacher makes sure when they create or use rubrics, it is aligned to the given performance. Number 5, yes, it can be considered as authentic assessment because even it is a written assessment, it also uses creative learning experiences to test students' skills and knowledge in a realistic situation. Number 6, yes, rubrics make students to become an independent learners because it helps them recognize their goals in making performance. Number 7, yes, because through these rubrics, I consider that it will help me to do better output by having knowledge and understanding about rubrics. So this is my reflection. Yes, all the authentic assessment and tasks new because now we have implemented the new curriculum, which is the K-12 curriculum, and we all know that the K-12 program is a very different from the old. So here are the link theory to practice. Number 1, to pinpoint which part of the lesson needs more explanation, which scoring rubric can help. So the answer is letter A, analytic. Number 2, I want to know how skilled the student have become in a research report. Which assessment task will be valid? The answer is letter B, make the students write the research report. Number 3, I want to get a global view of students' performance. Which rubric is most fit? So the answer is letter C, the holistic. Number 4, which can prove the students are not capable of sewing after 200-hour course. So the answer is letter A, presentation of a product they have sewn. So number 5, which is the most reliable way of determining whether or not the students can now dance tango. So the answer is letter A, the performance test. So now we proceed to scrutinizing the types of parts of the portfolio. So the target intended learning outcomes. First is evaluate a sample portfolio. Second is distinguish among the 3 types of portfolio. Here are the portfolio includes. We have the clear objectives, explicit guidelines for selection, comprehensible criteria, selective significant pieces, student reflection, and the evidence of student participation in selection of content of portfolio. So here are my No, not at all. In my opinion, if portfolios are included in a learning assessment process, it would be convenient, but it do need an extra time and effort in assessing it. So in the case on what I interview on my research teacher, the portfolio are also there, but they don't make them regularly because of workload the teachers have. So we have the link theory to practice. Number 1, the portfolio is synonymous to folder of files. Is this correct? Yes, the answer is yes, letter C. Which is an essential part of portfolio? The answer is letter T. I need to prove that I have fully developed the skill at writing research report. The answer is letter P. Which is portfolio can prove that improvement has taken place in the way students pronounce words. The answer is letter C. Number 5, want to know if my students can now focus the microscope properly. With which portfolio am I concerned? The answer is letter T. So now we have proceed to the analyzing a table of specifications. So the target intended learning outcome, which is to explain the function of the table of specifications. So we proceed to the analyze. To ensure test content validity, the parts must it have is the objectives in the hierarchy of educational objectives are well represented in the test. Number 2, to maintain the fairness of questions in every cognitive level and also to be fair in every student. Number 3, in my own opinion, it is important to put first the learning outcome because it is need to consider the output of students. Number 4, yes, the teacher can have a test questions with content, validity even without making TOS or the TOS, but it is not reliable. So we have reflect. Did you have similar experience? Reflect on it. Well, will the required use of table of specification as guide in test construction solve the problem of misaligned test? Yes, I had the same experience. I experienced during examination and sometimes in tests that there are some questions that are not related to the lesson of the teacher discussion. It's very hard to answer if the test is not connected to the lesson that you gave. So here are the link theory to practice. In teachers' R's table of specification or the TOS, 60% of the first grading test items are applying question based on the Bloom's taxonomy. A review of her test shows that 50% are remembering items, 20% are analyzing questions, and 30% are applying questions. Is the teacher test aligned with her TOS? So the answer is A, no. Number 2, what is the function of TOS? To ensure the letter A, the content validity of a test. Number 3, a TOS ensures alignment of tests with learning outcomes. Is the statement is true? So the answer is A, very true. In the TOS, the number of hours spent on the learning outcomes determine the number of test items to be asked. Is this correct? And the answer is letter B, yes. The following are found in the TOS except the answer is letter A, teaching learning activities. So now we proceed to the computing student grades based on a DPEC grading system. So I interview of the research teacher. What are the new features, the latest grading system? So what things are they required to do with this new grading system, which you not asked before? So I interview of my research teacher. So the teacher that I interviewed, that their grading system, it's new to them because it was introduced like 5 years ago. So in interview of students, I have no chance to interview with them. So next we have reporting students' performance. So I interview my research teacher. They don't have card distribution day. About the reports, they have assessment booklets to take home when the school closes during the term. Parents do visit the school for progress, check up twice in a month on either Tuesday or Thursday from 2 p.m. Now we proceed to our episode 13, which is the teacher as a person and as a professional. So here are the learning outcomes. At the end of this episode, I must be able to describe the personal qualities and competences of effective classroom teachers and enumerate the professional characteristics of practicing teachers observed as based on the professional standards and code of ethics for the profession. So here are the personal qualities of a teacher. So first we have dignified. So the teacher has self-respect, good communication with others, and respected by peers. Second is healthy. Yes, I observe the teacher is physically, mentally, and socially fit. Spiritual. I observe the teacher is spiritual minded. She is always attend mass every Sunday and relating to others in a positive ways. And fourth is knowledgeable. Yes, I observe the teacher has openness to experience in her life. And the fifth is humble. She sets high goals for herself, but she remains humble, willing to share success. And next is determined. The teacher remains strong amidst any challenges and does not give up easily. And the last is cooperative. The teacher is helpful, social tolerant, and compassionate. So next we have analyze. The most outstanding significant personal qualities of a teacher that I will choose as my case are first is determined. Because teaching is a very hard thing to do. If you have no courage and determination, you will never reach your goals because determination will lead you to success. Second is knowledgeable. As a teacher, you have intelligence to be able to acquire knowledge, skills, and values needed in order to teach for your students. And lastly is cooperative. As a future teacher, you are not only instructor but also collaborate and work together with others. Second, the qualities I think can fit as a good teacher someday is to have determination and cooperative. Because nowadays happen challenges and circumstances as a student, I still have courage and determination to reach my goals and being accepts responsibility as well. So this is my reflection. I was remember in my elementary days, I have teacher that has made a great impact in my life as a learner. He is my math teacher. His personalities as a person such as responsible, respectful, well-disciplined, and have courage and determination. And this personalities is reflected being professional teacher. He is strict with us, but he do this for our own good. He show professionalism and he have determination and dedication to his work. He already a teacher he continued his study. He became a principal in our school, and I think for now he built his own school for the preschool. Through this, it's influenced me to reach my goals and dreams that someday I have my own school for preschoolers because there is no impossible in what your dreams are. If you have determination and dedication, you will reach your goals and to be successful someday. So here are the professional competence of my resource teacher. First, we have the practice possess the code of ethics professional teachers. Second is that teaches the subject matter very well with mastery. Next is it keeps self-updated with educational trends, policies, and curricula. And next engages the parents and other stakeholders to cooperate as a partner in educating the children. Next is teaches with compassion based on the knowledge and understanding of the characteristics and needs of diverse learners. Next is prepares a curriculum plans, implements this with innovation in every lesson, design or selects, utilizes appropriate assessment strategies and tools for lesson taught, and the last is makes classroom atmosphere physically and psychologically safe and secure for learning. So here is my analysis. The teacher is considered as a professional teacher. The teacher has a characteristic as a professional teacher, and her specialization was have strong knowledge and understanding of characteristics and needs of diverse learners, and engages the parents and other stakeholders to cooperate with as a partners in educating the children. And last is makes her classroom atmosphere physically and psychologically for safe and secure for learning. So this is my reflection. As a future teacher, the results imply that I should practice the professional competences of Filipino teachers so that to aware and understand and what are the professional characteristics and competences that every teacher should have. So second, if all the teachers teaching today possess the professional characteristics and competences as the teacher observed, then learners will become better individual who is influenced by their teachers and become a better person and as a student. Students also expand their knowledge as well as master their individual skills. This is my resource teacher. So this is teacher Jane Atieno Odiambo. She is the owner and the head teacher in a modern focus school. She is kind, humble, respectful, responsible, and strong personalities. She possesses both professional competences and personal qualities that a great teacher should have. The professional competences such as she act professional teacher or show professionalism, she cooperate and engage inside or outside in the school setting, embracing diversity and to be a flexible teacher in any situation for have a positive learning for the learners. And being a head teacher, she needs to be a great model to all teachers and students on their schools. So here is the link theory to practice. So number one, any teacher currently teaching is called a professional because he or she, the answer is letter D, possess the characteristics given A, B, and C, which is a licensed teachers, as a personal qualities appropriate to be teacher, and the possess the characteristics given in A and B and C. So next is which of the following is a quality that is unbecoming a teacher? So the answer is letter C, aggressive and dominating. So number three, which statement is true about the spiritual of the teacher? And the answer is letter D. Goes to church every day, gives contribution to church activities, and behave according to the beliefs. Number four, what could be the best practice of professional teaching? The answer is letter C. Expects equal performance of learners in lessons taught. And number five, saying goes, many are called, but few are chosen. How is this directly related to teachers? So the answer is A. There are many teachers, but few are qualified. This is the end. Thank you.